event. Have Nancy with the smiling face Pelosi come running into the Senate and hit Mitch McConnell over the head with a chair. Maybe have some mayhem with several senators in a cage match, and then at the end, hold up Mitch McConnell's arm and call it a win for the Republicans. Game, set, match. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to have a discussion about this stupidity with. Meanwhile, how about Joe Biden in the debate that he watched last night?
Well, I was a single parent, too. I was making $42,000 a year. I commute every single solitary day to Wilmington, Delaware, over 500.
Dollars a year in today's money. Do you think maybe Joe could afford daycare? The big news today is that Nancy picked
Nancy with a
and liability than ever. Hospital or doctor you can't go to because they're not in the network. For a change, will stop. Call Marley Finance, innovative agency. Put an end to the. Give your employees. Reduce your monthly premiums by 20 to 30%. It doesn't matter when your renewal is. Marley can help today. Call 724-884-1496. 1424.
You can post your job to 100+ job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, to ZipRecruiter.com/America. That's ZipRecruiter.com/America. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/America.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. Just because it's cold outside, it doesn't mean you need to stop grilling, not if you've got the right grill, and that would be a Solaire infrared grill. Solaire infrared grills perform equally well in the cold of winter as in the heat of summer. Just like you feel warm from the sun when you step out of the shadows, the Solaire infrared burners heat your food directly, not the air around the food like conventional grills do. The intense heat also results in the juiciest food you will ever taste from a grill, gas, charcoal, or otherwise. To get the great taste, it's all about the heat. And Solaire Infrared from BestHotGrill.com gets hotter than anything you've ever experienced. Try it yourself with the Solaire Demo Program. Solaire is truly the last grill you'll ever buy. Learn more about amazing USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. That's BestHotGrill.com, BestHotGrill.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy.
DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and
healthy skin.
Skin bad, ears bad.
Pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog food.
Dynavite for life.
This
Cindy Lucas.
and your pets.
9-4.
Well, Nancy with the laughing face did it. She brought the articles of impeachment to the Senate. She named her management team. Now it's up to the Senate to try President Trump. And if you think there are 67 senators who are going to vote to remove him from office, you are a very small minority. For being here.
Happy to be with you.
So
His own legal team. The House managers again to Gary Nadler and Zoe Lofgren and Jeffries. I'm less familiar with the congressmen, and they are certainly but that case. The senators will then have time to ask questions. It's not going to be conducted like any other regular. It's certainly not going to be a regular trial, and it's not going to be a regular Senate hearing. They're not going to be making speeches. They can't even ask the questions directly. They pass the questions up to the Chief Justice, who will be presiding over all of this. And then at the end of that entire time period, I assume there will be either a vote on what's been presented, or there'll be a decision about which, if any, witnesses to call.
Have the Republicans that Mitch McConnell could just say, we looked at it, we're just dismissing the charge, which is what I wish he would do, by the way. But
well, they could do that. I just don't think they're going to do that. There have been enough Republicans that I think are on record saying that they want to at least hear what the lawyers have to say. That, you know, look, the Republican senators, if more than three cross over and say no, the Supreme Court dismissed this. The president, who originally wanted to have a whole slew of witnesses, and now said he wishes that.
we have the Iowa caucuses coming up in, 3 weeks. Those senators, I mean, this is going to go on. Is this going to go on to
they and I think that it will gave the 5 hours to make their case. They, of course, don't have to use that whole time. And then there were another 16 hours set aside on whether to include witnesses, and they had, 3 witnesses, if I recall correctly, who had depositions. So they had all been videotaped, and then the House manager's big snippet. Iowa caucuses are certainly supposed to be there, and if they decide to go and arrest them. And union address, so he's going to be speaking to Congress while this impeachment proceeding is going on too. So I'm afraid that while this trial
going to have their days filled. But I wonder how much. I mean, this to me, this thing has become such a farce, and it's such a thing. It just seems like.
No, I agree with you. I don't think, and I've said before, that anybody's minds were particularly changed by the investigation and testimony that went on before the House Judiciary and Intelligence committees. I think if you went into this thinking that the president was a bad guy who grossly abused power, that. If you think the president's a good guy in delaying payment of funds to Ukraine and investigating Burisma and the Bidens, then that's what you believe. I don't think very many people's minds have been changed. I have it happened for President Clinton were popularity. When this is all said and done, that'll be the big unanswered question.
Well, we're talking to John Malcolm, Vice President of the Institute for Constitutional Government at the Heritage Foundation. Now, you wrote a piece at the Heritage Foundation a few months ago, and you quoted House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler, who I believe see his picture here. So. Voted impeachment or an impeachment supported by one of our major political parties and largely opposed by the other. Such an impeachment would lack legitimacy, would produce and bitterness. That, then he can now be accused of calling the legitimate institutions into question. Does his presence on the in
trial that involved a federal judge, and he was one of the managers. And I would also note, by the way, and I know he's a law school classmate, then Congressman James Rogan, and beating Rogan up one side and down the other for his participation as a manager in the Clinton impeachment trial. So, times certainly changed there too. But, no, I suppose if the Republicans vote to have him as a witness, then, he may kick and squawk about it, but they're entitled to get that evidence if that's what they vote to do, and he would testify.
And on
today's the 15th.
15th. So in 5 days, it'll be exactly 3 years the day that Trump was sworn in, as you point out in your piece. The Washington Post headline read, "The campaign to impeach Trump has begun," and you have in here that Mark Zaid, the attorney representing the whistleblower, tweeted, "Coup has started. First of many steps. Hashtag impeachment." During proceeding.
It will if the whistleblower testifies. I don't think there's any question that the impeachment effort began early and obviously gathered a head of steam around this Ukrainian effort. But look, the entire Mueller investigation, Congressman Al Green from Texas, Democratic congressman, introduced his first article of impeachment within a remarkably short period. President was sworn in. I was here for the inauguration in Washington. And wanted him to remove him there to contend to wait to defeat him at the ballot.
Anything with so many people being against him, with the Republicans, who many of them who don't like, but begrudgingly he's had some success. But it's kind of amazing that he's been able to do anything. He's been putting up with this for 3 years.
Yeah, and the intransigence not only by the opposite political party, but by several federal judges that have frustrated his agenda has been rather remarkable to observe. But yeah, look, he got tax cuts through. He's done an incredible job from the conservative in terms of it looks. In my view, this impeachment effort, so he opportunity to make his case to the voters.
Talking to John Malcolm, he's the vice president of the Institute for Constitutional Government at the Heritage Foundation. So you are a student of an
immediately proceed to a second vote that would disqualify him from holding future federal. Sometimes it hasn't. Let me give a very prominent example. Florida Democratic Al C. Hastings, 1 point. Vote, and he could not have. So if they remove the president and they choose not to take that second vote, which is inconceivable, then he could run. If they take that second, not even a criminal trial, so the double jeopardy. What you're doing?
I have about a minute left, John. Precedent by impeachment. Well,
that the person be removed immediately, that they cannot wait until the next election, and they will undo the votes of 63 million people who voted for this. To our country.
Well, I'm out of time, John. If you have any pull down there, I'd really appreciate it if you would see if you could get Vince McMahon to preside over this. I still think it would be a good way to go. Appreciate your time.
Good to be with you.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back.
I'm John Scott. The U.S. House has voted to send 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate. The House also approving the chamber's prosecutors. The U.S. and China have signed what's being called a first phase trade agreement. Was signed at the White House by President Trump and the Chinese vice premier. It's expected to boost exports from U.S. farmers and manufacturers and protect American trade secrets. In Hawaii, 3 people in custody after military officials say they found a live mortar round in their vehicle at the gate of Pearl Harbor military base. Stocks ending a wobbly day, modest gains, but they were enough. This is SRN News.
Thinking about life insurance? Did you know in just a few minutes you can find the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies for free? You can with SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood. I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-49 or 2323. 800-49 323 or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hugh Hewitt is feeling the burn.
Burning is surging. The Bernie's race to lose.
The Hugh Hewitt Show. Weekday mornings at 6, right before Mike Gallagher at 9 on 1250. The Answer.
Started at everify.gov.
A. Hagerman of Abernathy and Hagerman. Upon your passing, you wouldn't know who raises your children. Review your to ensure they most. And will work with you to the non children are used for your judge for your -h.law.
Do you or your business have financial problems? Are you overwhelmed with debt? Then call me, Attorney Dennis Spire, at 412-471-7675. My legal practice concentrates on bankruptcy law, debtor rights, and tax matters. I have over 30 years' experience as a Department of Justice bankruptcy attorney and lawyer in private practice. I have represented thousands of cases faced with financial problems and lawsuits. Reorganize and get a fresh start. Call 412-471-7675.
Percent of the country, and plans start at just $20 per line with no contract and a 1-month risk-free guarantee. You've got nothing to lose. You can even keep your
AM 1250 and FM 92.5. The Answer. WPGP Pittsburgh, a division of Salem Media Group. Listen on the Answer mobile app, smart speakers, TuneIn, iHeart, or radio.com. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer.
Cloudy, windy, and cold with a flurry for Thursday. Wednesday night. Cloud. Sunday.
Well, when the Cleveland
the less noticed aspect of this entire issue, everyone is very quick to point fingers at jobs and not putting them in the pipeline and giving them the stepping stone jobs to interviewing with an owner for a head coach's job.
You say there's I think what you wrote in the column is, I have it here, a deep racial bias among a generation of head coaches who have made a habit of promoting white replicants of themselves. Is that racial bias or just a case of guys hiring their friends or assistants they know from having worked with them?
Well, look, I don't know what else to call it when 91% of the offensive coordinators in the NFL are white and 70% of the players in the NFL are black, including quarterbacks in the league. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. Why are there no black offensive coordinators? You know, what is that? I don't know what to call that other than a racial bias. Now, I don't know whether it's conscious or unconscious. I'd prefer to think it's unconscious. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, I.
A term as racism, or saying that these guys are racist for not hiring a black coordinator.
Team by team and coach by coach. I think you can paint every. I think something more is going on. Particularly, if you look at, one out, Tom Coughlin's staff. Football. Potent offensive Reed and great partnership. He's this as a head coach. He's been on 7 years and not. Other than a cadre of assistant coaches and a black sports writers, announcers, until people beyond those circles start talking about this and really looking at it and saying, what is it? It's not going to change, and it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though, and again, I'm not disagreeing with any of it, but I'm trying to put myself in a position of being an owner or a general manager who's been assigned by his owner to pick a head coach. So let's just look at, aside from the issue of whether they are being given a chance to be put in by being given jobs as coordinators, that we had 5 openings, and 4 of the 5 were filled by white men, and so let's go back a few weeks when we had the 5 openings, and say 3 of them are filled. I'm the owner of the Cleveland Browns, or the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. I've had a couple of guys in mind who I think I want as head coaches. I've had them in mind for a while. Would be right. See that's.
Look, I'm pretty sure Jim Haslam doesn't feel pressure about anything. The guy's got billions of dollars. I mean, these are pressure. Obligated. The point here is to change the mindset where it's not like you should completely out of in this league, they come out of former players. They come out of college football. When a people in the league consider that the less thinky side of the field. You don't have to be a thinking man on defense. You know, that's one of the old saws. So there's stuff clearly bigotry. If you don't, then just call it fact. You look at who Ron Rivera has just, or at least. Kid for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, that's really true. The only people putting guys in those jobs, Marvin Lewis and Hugh Jackson, you know, have to do it for everybody. And the only white coaches who've really been helping them out, it appears to me, do it.
Right, well,
why is he the only one who can find anyone who's qualified?
Byron Leftwich is a good example, but Byron Leftwich started as an intern in Arizona with Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians hired him as an intern. Then he made him a quarterback's coach. He promoted him up through the ranks. Showed promise. That of Byron Leftwich.
Mm-hmm.
Not some.
Who are willing to start out as interns? Is it the same? Is it as easy to find a black kid who will do that as there is a white kid? I don't know the answer to that, but
well, I mean,
I'd like to know if anybody's looked into it.
Why would it be any different? I mean, why on earth would? Why would?
Well, I'll give you an example of why it would be different, Sally. If I'm most of the players in the league, 70% of them are black. And they're now, I don't know what the minimum salary is now. It's up here, I think. If you're any good at all, you're going to make and you last for 3 or 4 years, you're going to make millions of dollars. And there's not that much of an incentive to go get any kind of a job, much less in coaching. But if you are a guy who played at a Division II school, or if you're a guy who was a college football player but not good enough to play in the NFL, you may be more inclined and have more incentive to pursue coaching because that's the only way you're going to make a living. And I just don't know if that plays into it at all.
So why did Mike Vrabel pursue coaching? I mean, Mike Vrabel made a fortune playing in the NFL. I mean, what's your point? I mean, what's the difference? Why is it any different for if a black player aspires to
what I'm saying, if you look at a list of the offensive coordinators, you're not going to find a list of names that you recognize, other than the fact that you recognize them as, you're not going to be, there are not too many recognizable players working as offensive coordinators. All these white guys, they didn't come from the NFL. They didn't play in the NFL. back.
Ranks. Sometimes they come from the collegiate ranks. Sometimes they come from came up through administration. One thing that really helps you is if you come from the state of Pennsylvania and you've got any kind of connection, to Penn State or to Youngstown State. I mean, if you look at a lot of those guys' credentials, some of the guys you're talking about who are lesser known, they all come from this, a particular sort of background. Yeah.
Now, that was interesting that you pointed that out, that they come from Catholic high schools.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that going on, and I don't know. I don't know if it's just. One thing I do know is a very prominent longtime NFL coordinator told me there's very much of a gentleman's agreement among coaches in the NFL to put each other's sons into those quality control jobs and into assistant coaching jobs because they want it for their own kids. So, there's a lot of back scratching going on.
Hey, we had a guy here, Sally, Todd Haley. His dad here in Pittsburgh, and he's been a head coach, not for very long. But his dad, I knew his dad, Dick Haley, he played at Pitt and became one of the guys in the personnel department that put together the great teams of the 70s. Todd Haley, his son, became the offensive coordinator for a couple of teams, including Kansas City, then became their head coach. He was a very successful offensive coordinator from time to time, and he had some success here, too. He never played football, ever. He played on the golf team at his high school, local high school here, and he was a head coach in the NFL. Never played football. But his dad was Dick Haley, so helped him out a little bit.
Well, I mean, look, so a guy like John DeFilippo, right? He's Gene DeFilippo's kid, right? He doesn't have, like, the most necessarily, he wasn't steeped in football. His father was an athletic director. I mean, the league, some of them are immensely talented. For my money, now if and I don't understand why it isn't, or why it can't be, and it is something that requires a shift in mindset. I'm not a big one for new mandates. I don't think you need a bunch of new Rooney rules or a bunch of new, I don't think that fixes the problem.
They don't work. No.
I don't think they particularly work. I don't like quotas. I don't like mandates. It has to take a change of heart, but you can't have the change of heart without the recognition first. You have to point this out, and you have to say, what's going on? Take a look at yourself. Take a look in your own heart. Take a look at the young black linebacker coach or the young black running backs coach and ask yourself if he's getting the opportunity and the teaching from you that you are giving to someone else's kid.
Yep.
That's what has to happen on these coaching staffs.
I'm out of time. I really pro athletes, the really successful ones, get into ownership, buy a team, and that's one way to avoid all the stupidity. Own the team yourself, and they got enough money now. Some of them.
I'd like to see more ownership across the for players. All have bigger stakes, whether it's through labor negotiations, whether it's through amassing their own fortunes and buying into their own teams. I would just like to see players, whether we're talking NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball.
Post columnist. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back. They blow into town with the wind, rain, and hail. And out-of-town storm chasers going door to door, often posing as a local company offering a quick fix to desperate homeowners. If you damage to your roof, windows, side Over 50 years in home remodeling, Windows R Us is the area's premier exterior replacement company for roofs, siding, gutters and downspouts, doors, and of course windows. If damage isn't your issue and you just want something new, you'll love their no-pressure approach, no hidden fees, and one of the fastest turnaround times in the industry. A company who will never skip town when it comes to honoring their warranty. Visit Windows Mag for an additional 10% off. Windows R Us, proud sponsor of the Jerk of the Week, heard every Friday on the John Steigerwald Show. Windows R Us Pittsburgh.com.
Don't let your home be invaded this season with rats and mice. Keep them away the most humane way with plug-in pest-free, 100% chemical-free, totally safe for your family and pets, and environmentally friendly. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest-Free, the electromagnetic pest control device that has been scientifically tested and consumer-proven since 1995. Now that's fair income. With a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 2-year manufacturer's warranty, what have you got to lose? Stop inviting unwanted rodents and pests in with baits. Say goodbye to traps and start saving money today with Plug-in Pest-Free. Order yours now at gopestfree.com and save 20% with promo code. That's gopestfree.com, promo code PEST20. Are you ready to start saving money? Gopestfree.com, promo code PEST20. Don't spray and regret, plug in and forget.
Shopping online, holiday season, finding tablet. Buying brands were over and sell for as low as $2. About quality so much crazy things like German Blade Factory. Over every detail means we're and quality. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
You're listening to the John Steigerwald Show on AM 1250.
So, Michael Avenatti was arrested by the IRS last night. You remember him, the guy the media fell in love with.
Oh, Michael Avenatti, an apology. For the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, enough already, Michael. I've seen you everywhere. What do you have left to say? I was wrong, brother. You have a lot to say. The Democrats could learn something for you. You are messing with Trump a lot more than they are.
With Avenatti, who has done, fascinating legal job and political job here at the same time, since he's taken on the Stormy Daniels case and has had some success and failure in the courtroom, but had a tremendous amount of success in the public sphere.
Lately, to me, you're like the Holy Spirit. You are. But he has a great, big, is minimal compared to what he's doing. The priesthood, whatever. He's out there saving the country.
Rudy Giuliani did something today that Donald Trump has not dared to do. Rudy Giuliani insulted Michael Avenatti.
Michael Avenatti's a beast.
Okay, that's true.
And
he's a beast.
He's a beast, and he keeps popping Donald Trump and all of his folks in the mouth repeatedly. He's a beast. And so...
Yeah, they actually slobbered over him as much as they slobbered over Beto O'Rourke. By the way, I missed the debates last night. How did Beto do? Beto, Robert O'Rourke? That's it for today. I will talk to you tomorrow. By the way, Avenatti is accused of scamming a client by the IRS out of $840,000. Just thought I'd throw that in. Hope it was somebody in the media that he scammed. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Production of AM 1250 and Salem Media Group.
There's been a lot of happy talk about Greater Pittsburgh.